Radio City presents Ask Marka.
Sleep is a very basic element of human needs, so we need to understand a little more about sleep disorders. There may be several types of sleep disorders, but if you actually look at the sleep problems, an individual can go through only three types of sleep problems. Either you sleep less, or you sleep more, or something abnormal happens during sleep, like sleep talking, sleepwalking, nightmares, night terrors, or sometimes restless legs, and so on. So let's understand what sleep disorders is all about. Any person who is not having good night's sleep, or insomnia we call it, it can be of various types. Either you're not able to get into sleep initially when you go to bed, or you have a very broken sleep, or sometimes you wake up very early in the morning, or sometimes individual may not have all these three problems but still wake up feeling very non-refreshed or non-rested in the morning. So all these four things are considered as insomnia. So most people who are not able to sleep well may have some psychological issue. In fact, 70 to 80% of people with sleep problem will have some psychological issue, like stress, anxiety, depression, or sometimes it could be just an anticipatory anxiety about how they sleep. Many times physiological reasons can also contribute to sleep problems, like simple acidity to arthritis, pain, migraine, or sometimes diabetes, hypertension, vitamin deficiencies. All these things can cause sleep disorders. Or people with several other issues like addiction problems. Sometimes people may have snoring issues. You may have heard about heavy snoring. That could be potentially a clinical condition called sleep apnea. Sometimes it could be just the environmental reasons of not having adequate light, temperature, something noisy, or the mattress type. All these things can cause sleep disorders. Sometimes it could be a biological clock where people have night shift work, or frequent travelers between different time zones can have what we call circadian rhythm disorders. So these are various underlying reasons. So we try and understand the underlying reason and treat sleep disorders. As you all know, if you do wake up in the morning without a good night's sleep, you might feel a little groggy, little irritable, tired, may have problems with concentration. It can even affect your productivity and performance at work and the way you relate to other people as well. So it's very important that we take care of our sleep. It can even affect our physical health. It can worsen our immunity. It can be an independent risk factor for our cardiac health. So the various other ways it can impact. So let's talk a little bit about normal sleep, how much sleep we all need. Look, as you know, a newborn baby can sleep anywhere between 16 to 20 hours on day one. As the baby grows older and older, the sleep duration keeps coming down. So any normal working age adult population may require about 6 to 8 hours of sleep. But there may be some outliers there, like people sleeping less than 6 hours or sometimes more than 8 hours and still functioning perfectly normal. But I'm talking about normal sleep requirement is about 6 to 8 hours. And let's understand now what happens when we sleep. When we sleep in the night, we go through what we call sleep cycles, and each cycle will last for about 90 minutes. And within that sleep cycle, we have about 4 stages of sleep. I'm not going to go into details of all the stages, but it's important for us to understand that each stage is very, very important. You may have heard about sleep stages called NREM and REM. There are certain stages of sleep where the body is paralyzed, the mind is active, and the other way around as well. Every stage is important. Each has its own functioning. So what happens when we sleep is a lot of physiological activities happening. With all the wear and tear of the day-to-day activities, mind and body will require some repair work, some energy preservation work, regulation work. All this happens in the night. Growth is another important thing that happens during sleep. So young children need to sleep longer hours because growth hormone surge happens during sleep. So if you don't get good night's sleep, all these things can get affected. The first thing you need to take care of is sleep timings. So try and go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time as much as possible, including the weekends, if you're having sleep disorders. And second thing is, a lot of people ask me, is afternoon sleep good? Is a good thing to have. Look, afternoon sleep I feel is only for people who can sleep well in the night, because they can afford to. Because if you're already having night sleep problem, afternoon sleep will worsen it further. So try not to have your naps in the day. Regular exercise of some kind, yoga, meditation, all those things will certainly help. As far as your night practices are concerned, make sure that you have your last meal about 1.5 2 hours before your bedtime. You can have a glass of warm milk or a banana, which has high melatonin and serotonin, which will help you sleep better. So, and regular exercise, like I mentioned, try not to have robust exercises closer to bedtime. So all these sleep hygiene techniques will certainly help. Now let's talk a little bit about psychotic disorders. At Marga, we do treat all psychiatric disorders, particularly the serious mental illnesses like psychotic disorders. Psychotic disorders is one of the serious mental health manifestations. I don't want to call it a disorder because the psychotic manifestations can be because of various psychiatric conditions.
Radio City presents Ask Marka.